Day 4, Memory, the Identity Archaeology Challenge. What if I told you that your memories aren't real, not in the way you think they are? What if the stories you've been telling yourself about your past, the ones that define who you believe you are, what if they're not facts but interpretations, and what if you could reinterpret them? This is the power of memory, the most misunderstood of all the higher faculties. I'm Albert Gitinji, and this is Day 4 of the Higher Faculties of the Mind series. For most of my life, I carried a memory. I was about 8 years old. We had a visitor come to our home, someone my father was trying to impress for business. I wanted to help, so I brought them tea, but I tripped. The tea spilled everywhere. The visitor laughed. My father's face showed disappointment. For decades, I carried this memory as proof that I was clumsy, embarrassing, someone who couldn't be trusted with important moments. That memory shaped countless decisions, avoiding situations where I might fail publicly, holding back instead of stepping forward. Then, in my 30s, I mentioned this memory to my mother. She laughed and said, "That's not what happened at all. Yes, you spilled the tea, but the visitor was charmed by how hard you tried to help. Your father was proud of your initiative." Same event, completely different story. Here's what I realized. I hadn't remembered what happened. I had remembered my interpretation of what happened through the lens of an 8-year-old who believed he'd done something wrong. And I'd been living from that interpretation for decades. This is what memory really is. Memory is not a recording. It's a reconstruction. Every time you recall a memory, you're rebuilding it from fragments, and you rebuild it through the lens of your current identity. If you believe you're unworthy, you'll remember events as evidence of unworthiness. If you believe you're unlucky, you'll remember events as evidence of bad luck. Your memories don't create your identity. Your identity creates your memories. This is revolutionary because it means you're not trapped by your past. You're only trapped by your interpretation of your past. And interpretations can change. I'm not suggesting you deny painful experiences or pretend they didn't happen, but I am suggesting that the meaning you've assigned to those experiences is negotiable. Every event in your life has multiple possible meanings. You've chosen one. You can choose another. The client who was told they weren't leadership material, that memory doesn't have to mean they're not cut out for leadership. It could mean the person who said it was wrong. It could mean it was a catalyst that drove them to prove it wrong. Same memory, different meaning, different identity. Here's your challenge for today. I call it identity archaeology. Take out a piece of paper. Write down one memory that you believe shaped your identity in a limiting way. Maybe it's a failure, a rejection, a moment of shame, something someone said about you. Write the story as you've been telling it to yourself now. I want you to become an archaeologist of your own past. Ask yourself, what else could this memory mean? What might I have missed? How might someone who loves me interpret the same event? What if this happened for me rather than to me? Write a new interpretation, not a denial, a reframe. Read both versions out loud. Notice how they feel different in your body. The first version has been running your life. The second version is available to you right now. Tomorrow we're going to work with intuition, the faculty that connects you to wisdom beyond logic. If you want to go deeper into identity transformation, watch my free masterclass, The Identity Shift Blueprint. Link in the description. Subscribe and I'll see you tomorrow. Remember, you are not your memories. You are the meaning maker, and meaning can always be remade.